All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen and Zers. My name is Peter Feliciano, and welcome to CONSERVATISH, episode 181. God, I'm an amazing person. And you are watching CONSERVATISH. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening, goddammit. Hit the bell, especially on YouTube. Don't just hit subscribe, silly goose. Hit the bell and hit all notifications. It's only once a week, you lazy fuck. Also, find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Find me on Twitter at Rule62Peter. And you can find me on the Facebook. If you want to support this podcast and my music, I've got lovely music coming out soon, like big fucking deal music. You can support this podcast on my music at patreon.com/conservatish, or you can just Venmo me. I am a whore at Peter-Feliciano. Speaking of whores, my wonderful guest today, James R. Real Person Politics. Thank you so much, our man in Oahu. Yeah, good to see you, brother.
Aloha, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you got the whorishness out of the way there, so everybody knows that I'm just as much a whore as you are. So I'm still waiting to figure out who the pimp is, though. So far, though, they're not getting in my pocket too badly.
Well, we might talk about that a lot. But yeah, first things first, where can people find you, James?
Basically, you can find me at tavshow.com. That's tavshow.com, stands for Trust and Verify. That's the easiest way to find all my links. Basically, I am Real Person Politics with no vowels on basically every platform. Most of the platforms are managed by my wife because I am honestly too damn busy on both social media and my real job. So I don't have time to try to master, 75,000 different social media accounts. So I just basically try to focus on this production and then let her do the other stuff.
You are a badass, very hardworking man. I do have to start this off by sharing a text that I got from our mutual friend. He says, because I told them that James is going to be on my show. You do know that he is a legend in the MAGA movement. You're touching history here. Not for nothing, but I think James is a great human being. He is a truly dedicated patriot. He knows how to kick ass. He's honest, and he's a real man who listens to God and practices what he preaches. He works incredibly hard. He's a political savant without equal because he has that rare blend of high-level thinking and perspective, along with common sense, everyman style of relatability. He is a self-effacing like you are. He's consistent and loyal and incredibly talented in a million ways. We're only halfway through this, James. He makes producing look easy. And it's one of the toughest jobs to do well. James has a generous heart and a talent for connecting people. In short, he's probably one of my favorite patriots. I've never met him or talked to him, so you're lucky. Be blessed. He helped me when I first started on Twitter, and his daily podcasts have kept me sane. You'll be lifted up by him. He's a genuine leader. He lifts up those around him, and he cusses constantly, especially when he's talking about Congress. Have a great time. So that is an unprompted review. They just sent me that.
I just want to say I am not worthy. I am not worthy of those comments. I am just a regular Joe guy, drives around his truck, used to yell at my radio. Now I yell at all of you people. So, it's like I don't feel worthy of that kind of recommendation. I'll tell you that.
I don't think so either. No, I'm just kidding. But that's why I started this show too, because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come out guns blazing. I'm sick of yelling at my radio or at my podcast or at my phone or whatever. Fuck it. I'm going to do what I want and just have a place. And if people want to plug in, they'll plug in. If they enjoy it, they'll enjoy it. And if they want to share it and like it and subscribe it, you lazy fucks, then they'll share it and like it and subscribe it. But ultimately, I just wanted to have a place to rant freely. Your show, I haven't plugged into Ladies of Liberty very often. I think maybe once, but most of the time, when I've plugged into your show, what I like, and I talked about this when I was on Pirate Radio with you guys about a week and a half ago. What I like about your show is that you're very focused on the political side of things and on the the knowledgeable side of things, the i.e. Congress, who's like, I don't even know. I'm such the cultural focused guy. I don't even know who the fuck governors are. Like, you guys are like laser on it, but you also say cunt from time to time. Like, I like that shit. I like that because so many, and I think I said this on your show, so many times when it comes to people focusing on this, I like to put it under the umbrella of non-liberal people. So many times it gets stuffy. It gets stuffy. And I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it says you can't say fuck. I just don't see it. So like, why can't we just be a little loose with it? A little everyman, like that person was saying, you know? So,
Well,
anyway.
I totally agree with you, especially like I like to, when I get these people that are, and sorry for anyone that may be a Bible thumper out there, fuck you. But you know, people that do that, you know, look, the biggest tenet, one of the largest tenets in Christianity is judge not lest ye be judged. And then you get all these people that want to start talking about how what I'm doing is wrong and how I'm doing is disrespectful. And what, hey, did you read the tenet here? Don't fucking judge me. So get off your fucking high horse and go worry about what the fuck you're doing wrong. I'll take care of myself. That's my mission between God and I, not between you, me, God, and some fucking other jackass that decides I'm wrong. So, you know, that's exactly the way I look at it. And I can even get into theological debates a lot of times with these people and start telling them, look, you don't even understand what the word vain means. You've bought this bullshit from priests who were in charge of a political aspect of the church, by the way, and they twisted the words to say, oh, that means you shouldn't cuss. Wait, what? No, look up the word vain, you dipshit. In fact, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the entire tenet of thou shalt not take thy Lord's name in vain is actually directed directly at the preachers, directly at the idiots, putting themselves up as the voice or the visage or the thought of God. That is literally how it should be interpreted. Just read the fucking words, moron.
Well done. I like that. And also one of my favorite things that Christians seem to miss a lot is that, because I know it says I think it's New Testament, thou shalt not be unequally yoked. But Jesus also washed the feet of fucking Mary Magdalene. Like you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of non-love in a lot of these, in this love-driven community. And there's a lot of great shit happening too. Don't get me wrong. The last couple of times I've gone to services, there's been some, you know, we're doing this over here and we're helping these kids and we're helping this build a school, and they're doing amazing shit often. But there also seems to be a missing link of the humanity part of it and the God, I hate to get hippie this early, but like the self-love angle, the being gentle with yourself and not judging the fuck out of yourself, especially based on what other people think. You know what I mean? If me and God, I don't think God makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds trite or whatever, but I really believe that. And if me and God are cool, then what does it matter what you think? You know what I mean? Right. Plus, Jesus walked in, he turned over tables. Like, this was a badass motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are we like...
I always tell people, if you read the Bible, Jesus started bar fights, okay? Just go look at the fucking Bible, right? This is a guy that came in, kicked shit over, threw money at people. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the language and the tenet in the Bible, actually in the scripture of the word, you will see that in his day, Jesus was cussing. He was cussing. I mean, look, cursing. I'm going to tell you why people feel so bad about when you curse in the name of God. If you look at the Bible and you read it as both a historical and a theological text, you will find out that back in those days, people believed that when you cursed people in the name of God, God was actually going to do some shit to you. So, I mean, that's what it is. So it's people that are scared that you're bringing the wrath of God onto them. You know, right. So let's be real about what people are afraid of here. It has nothing to do with a couple of swear words. It has to do with them worried about the fact that you're actually calling God to go take a look at that motherfucker over there. Hey, God, check that bitch out.
I also, John Cleese had his autobiography. He had this great point. Is that a lot of what he experienced in the church was middle-class rain dance. A lot of it is middle-class rain dance, where all these middle-class people feel like, okay, if I do the right thing at the right time, God's going to give me the right thing, and if I do the wrong thing, then God's going to strike me down, and I need to walk on eggshells. And God didn't make a mistake. He put this voice in me. He gave me these gifts. Why do you think maybe possibly God made me also just a tinge human as well? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do. I gotta say this because I already made the comment once, but someone put in the chat and on my side of the coin over here that they said Jesus never taught not to judge. You're forgetting a very big thing that happened in the Bible where he said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." You may not understand what that means, but essentially that means don't fucking judge because motherfucker, you're guilty too. I mean, it literally in the Bible, there is remove the mote from your own eye before you worry about the splinter in your neighbor's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking ignorant savage, but I'm pretty sure that means don't fucking judge other people. It's pretty clear to me.
Maybe I'm an ignorant savage. I like that. Speaking of savage, I was wondering because you don't, from afar on a small Twitter screen, you seem like a white guy, but you're not a white guy, are you?
No, I'm actually Asian, but I have white in me. But I love the fact that people try to give me a white privilege card because I grew up in a neighborhood and I grew up in the era where motherfucker, everybody hated me. Okay, look, I'm serious. The white people used to pick on me for not being white. The black people used to pick on me for not being black. And the Asian people used to pick on me for not being Asian. Okay, everybody fucking hated my ass. I have faced the kicks, the stomps, the 2x4s, the fucking bats. I went through some shit, motherfucker. So when you're trying to tell me I had a white privilege card, you can take your white privilege card and shove it right the fuck up your ass. I had to fight every motherfucker. I even had Indian motherfuckers take a bite out of my back at one time, okay? Nobody fucking liked me. Okay, so when you're trying to tell me I had white privilege, motherfucker, I don't know where the fuck that is. I'm still looking.
Right. And I like the fact that people like you, because I'm a mixed person as well. I really only lean on my Puerto Rican heritage when I get to hit other people over the head with it. I really like it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel so good. I don't know if I ever faced racism, but I also didn't. I'm not living in a mansion right now, so I can just blame that. I can just blame it. It's because I'm racially ambiguous. That's why I'm not, not that I'm not further along because of my fucking decisions. Hello. But I did since you are an Asian person, there's been a lot of stuff today in the news because there was a shooting in where the fuck was it? Goddamn, some fucking place. Alabama? No. Anyway, there was a shooting.
Atlanta.
Thank you. There was a shooting in Atlanta, which, by the way, the only times white liberals really give a fuck about the southern states is if they fall in line, especially Atlanta. They like Atlanta because Outkast had some hits in the 90s and the early aughts. They also like Atlanta because Childish Gambino is from there, and they like his white version of blackness. And they especially like Atlanta when they vote the right way. Now all of a sudden, it's very beautiful. There's this person on Twitter posted some stuff because everybody's like, "Oh my God, there was a shooting that the reason why there was Asian women shot is because of racism." First things first, the damn shooter, the piece of shit who killed people, said it wasn't race. Let's just now. Normally, maniacal, evil pieces of shit want a message. If they're sending a message, like the motherfucker who rammed into the people down in Charlottesville, whether it be the people who went into Australia, into the churches and shot. Like, if you're sending a message, if you're a maniacal mass shooter and you're sending a message, you're not going to just renege. If you're not going to just renege on the message. God, I'm funny. You're not just going to renege on the message as soon as the message is now put forth. You're not going to go, it wasn't actually racism when you were trying to shoot people because of racism. Let's be real. Let's be real. Not only did he say that, but also white people died in the shooting and Mexican people died in the shooting. If it was just racism, you fucking myopic white douchebag, why would he have killed other people? Oh, I got to shoot down these wonderful white people, even though I love them. It's worth it to lose these pure white people just to get these Asian chicks. No, stupid. It's because he's a fucking piece of shit. Piece of shit is going to do piece of shit shit.
I love it. I finally met somebody else that uses the word myopic. I finally met somebody. I fucking love it. But let's draw a real big thing. On the exact same time as in Atlanta, some guy was killing some people because he couldn't get laid. 15 people were shot at a party in Chicago. Anybody else know about that? Anybody? Hello? Is this thing on? Yeah. So at the exact same fucking time, there was 15 people being shot in Chicago, and nobody's talking about that fucking shooting. Why? Because I'm pretty sure the shooter was black, the victims were black, and nobody gives a fuck. Think about that, you racist piece of shit liberals.
Yay! 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 God damn it, I love my fucking show. Thank you, James. The other thing was, I think King Lee, I'm going to try and get him on my show. This guy, Asian, who's big Trump supporter on Twitter, he put up a great point. Not only do the white liberals who are like, oh, poor Asian people, because it's serving them now, but there was a white lady in the same Twitter thread who said, or an Asian lady in the same Twitter thread who said, okay, now that you're all into supporting Asians, can you let us into Harvard at regular rates now? Can you stop keeping us out of fucking university since you're all like, support Asian people? You've been fine. You white liberals have been fucking fine with Harvard and all these universities keeping Asians out, even though they earned their fucking place in your university because there's too many fucking Asians. They've been kicking your fucking ass and kicking black people's ass, kicking white people, kicking everybody's ass in this specific area. And you're thinking, no, we need to let more black people in. And so you've been fucking them. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, it's because you're full of shit.
Well, I know that you're much younger than me, so and probably your audience is as well. So you could actually go back before the internet existed. I know I'm a caveman. And you can find that they've been doing that exact same shit in the news. Go look in the archives. You can probably look it up on the internet now because people tried to put all the archives on the internet. You can find out that they've been doing this shit since the 70s. Okay, they've actually, it precedes that, but it's been wide stream in about the 80s, where we all knew what Yale was doing, Harvard was doing. In fact, it was largely talked about that, oh, send all those motherfuckers to MIT, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous what these people have done with that little thing alone. And that's why you see that you have Yale still quaking in their boots trying to settle these lawsuits because they've been doing it. I mean, it's just nonstop corrupt bullshit. Okay, look, I know, because I honestly, I'm being clear. I didn't grow up in the really fucking racist area of the 60s, right? But I definitely grew up in the 70s and 80s and some difficult times of racism. This shit was all solved. This shit was largely non-existent by the time that Obama took the office. I swear to God. Otherwise, how the fuck would he ever got elected if this country was so fucking racist? All right, for one. For two, I know because of the jobs that were available. See, this is the thing that people never talk about, is when in the 70s, if you were a minority, you were going to manage a fucking Dunkin' Donuts, okay? Yeah, I mean, you just weren't. You weren't going to get a job that was anything worth a shit, okay? And over time, all of that shit went away to where all kinds of minorities were fucking CEOs of fucking businesses, okay? Like, so when you understand there's no systemic racism there. Are there racist fucks in this country? Yes, they vote Democrat. Every fucking one of them. I mean, look, the KKK, it's a brand child of the fucking Democrat Party. Like, this is historical facts. Okay, you guys were celebrating in the 90s. We got our first black fucking congressman. Yeah, dipshits. Republican first black congressman, 1870. Okay, suck on them nuts. You fucking people that think like this are because you're being indoctrinated. The news lies constantly. That's why they're all trying to change the fucking history. The biggest thing that we face right now for all of this, it's all related, is the changing of fucking history, the denial of it, the removal of it, the, oh my God, the censorship of the First Amendment. It's the biggest issue of our times. And there are idiots that are cheering it on until all of a sudden they're the victim of the cancel culture.
Right. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I always say, if there's one thing, the biggest thing that everybody, even the fucking liberals who, I mean, I have a lot of liberals who listen to my fucking show, and God bless them. I hope I can shake the cognitive dissonance just enough for them, because they want to get me. They want to go, but you're not supposed to. And then because I look racially ambiguous, it stops them. It gives them, it gives them pause, and it makes me happy. But, but even those, we should all be on the same side when it comes to the fucking free speech thing. We should all be on the same side when it comes to the free speech thing. If I mean, it's again, it's a bit of a fucking sweet little, you know, what's the trite? Thank you. Wow. It's a bit of a trite saying, but if you need to shut people down, if you need to shut people's ideas down in order to win an argument, you're not a good person. I'm sick. I'm fucking fed up with thinking, with all of us in America and in the West in general, because the East, by the way, doesn't give a sweet hot fuck about any of this woke culture. They do bad or good or bad, because they're doing a lot of bad shit too. They have their head down and they're plowing through, while we're going, you shouldn't say tranny. They're flying past us going, all right, have fun. They've been doing what they always fucking do. First, especially Asians. First generation, they have their head down, working hard. They're not going, you shouldn't say chink. They're fucking working hard, getting their fucking shit together, owning businesses. And then the second generation is even higher and even higher. And that's part of the reasons, because they're standing on the backs of giants. You cannot stand on the shoulders of giants if there are no fucking giants. If everyone's just like, he said a bad word. Fuck you, man. You're not a giant. You're a bitch. If a face paint holds you back, I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Chinese, whatever. You're a bitch. You're a fucking bitch. I don't know why I'm going off on a tangent, but essentially we should all be on the same page when it comes to free speech, period, the fucking end. And if you're not, you're not a good person.
I can't disagree with you at all. I mean, look, any leftist that happens across this fucking scope, which they'll probably be like, oh my God, these guys are fucking racist. You know, if they come across this, you should be supporting free speech, okay? Because literally it's that you want to yell at me. I just want you to understand that if your speech is now, you want to call me names. What if that becomes culturally intolerable? Or you do want to stop being able to tell me I'm a racist? How about that? I mean, just think about these things. What I like to call it is the shoe on the other foot test, okay? Like everything that you think about when it comes to government is that you need to flip the script. If you say government should do something about that, just flip the script and say, okay, I'm that person. What do I want the government to do to me? When you do that, you'll find out you don't want the government to do a fucking thing. I mean, literally, just that's it. Just flip the script on everything and make yourself become the other person for just 1 second and ask yourself, do I want the government to do that to me? And then you'll find out, fuck those idiots.
As an Asian American, are you scared walking out your door? Are you terrified walking in the streets? Do you need white allies?
Fuck no. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, and I've lived every fucking where. Currently, I live in an Asian community. I live in Hawaii. So I get that that's a little bit disingenuous to answer the question that way today. But let's keep in mind of the places that I have lived. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in Las Vegas. I've lived in San Francisco. I've lived in LA. I've lived in liberal fucking hellholes all over the fucking place. I've never been afraid to walk down the streets. Are there some neighborhoods I'm smart enough to never fucking go in? Hello, Oakland. Yes, but that's a whole different fucking story.
And by the way, this is why, no, it's almost, because I've been only a part of this non-liberal, like speaking out culture for a couple of years now. You've been doing a lot longer. My experience is when someone says stuff like, isn't it interesting timing that this story comes out, right? When someone on our side or the non-liberal side says, isn't it interesting? For a while, my brain is like, okay, yeah, but like I also kind of filed it a bit under conspiracy theory-ish type of thinking. This is a fucking big one. This is a big one. Why are they so obsessed? They've been starting to realize that they can't hide the Asian hate going on and the Asian attacks going on in Oakland, which is all from Black people They realize they can't hide that shit, and all of a sudden, thank God, a white person killed a few Asian people. Hooray! Now we can go, I stand with solidarity, bitch. You didn't stand with solidarity a month ago when black people were beating Asian women in the fucking streets in Oakland. You didn't fucking stand with solidarity. Shut the fuck up. In fact, the only people that I saw finally realize, I finally saw one person. There was an account that I unfollowed because I realized that I forgot to unfollow them before. But there was an account, a hip hop-ish, dancey type of account that said, Blacks and Asians, we need to stand together in solidarity against hate. Okay, finally you're saying, yes, it's us. But for a while there, it's because Trump called it the China virus. That's why. No, it's because black people are being selfish cunts. That's the reason, because black people want money. And sometimes they're not told how to get it the right way. They live in whatever culture that says mostly lack of fatherhood, lack of fucking masculine fucking guides. And so they think I need to be violent and I need to take people. And so they would go after Asians, not because they hate Asian people, but because older Asian ladies and men in Chinatown are more vulnerable. So they can knock them down to the ground and there's no one around them to knock them the fuck out or shoot them with a gun. And especially in Oakland, nobody has fucking guns. Nobody has weaponry. So they can push an old Asian lady to the ground and grab her stuff, grab her purse. They can run up to an Asian guy at an ATM, I saw the video, and just knock him down to the ground and take his money. So it's not even about race, but it is over and over and over a black person doing it, and you're not even diagnosing it the right way. And then finally, thank God, a white person killed some Asian people. And now all of a sudden, I stand in solidarity. You're fucking hypocritical assholes, man. Creepy. Well, that's fucking creepy too.
Definitely fucking creepy. But that's the tripe of the left, is that they always try to give you cognitive dissonance. It's how everything is upside down, bizarro world. Everything they say is the exact opposite. Let's look at the state of the country. 60 days, the country is fucking burned to the ground almost. I mean, today, Ford leaving the fucking country already. Yeah, you've been in charge 60 days. I mean, Trump fixed this shit 4 fucking years ago. You've been there 2 fucking months. You can't even order a fucking Big Gulp correctly. I mean, it's disgusting where we're at. And because everything they promise, they're doing the exact opposite. They're just destroy everything. How do they get away with that? Because of what you said earlier. They program these people in the mind to think that these are not the droids you're looking for. And all of a sudden you're screaming, Americans are racist. Yes, motherfucker, it's you. It's you. Look in the fucking mirror. You're the fucking racist. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you would just stop and calm the fuck down, put away the fucking medication. Maybe I'll actually reverse a little bit of that and say, go get a fucking bong, light one fucking hard before you start thinking about this shit, okay? Because obviously you're too high strung to deal with the reality of the world. I mean, all life is hard for everybody.
But James, I thought it said in Corinthians, you're not supposed to smoke pot. Isn't that what it says?
They just want to keep us divided and at each other's throat. If you look at almost every single thing that they push, that they're talking about, it's like this bizarre world where they're pointing their finger at us, that, you know, we're the ignorant people. We're the people that we somehow we love Hitler, or we're fucking racist, or we want to destroy America. But when you look at all the policies we're pushing, it's freedom. It's arm everybody. Like the thing you mentioned earlier, I said this a while ago. I can solve all personal bodily violent crimes in America with one fucking rule or law, however you want to institute it. And that is that every single woman they turn 16 or they turn 18, you make a mandatory gun safety course. That's it. They just have to do that. If you make that happen, women will become empowered. They'll feel empowered. And every person that wants to perpetrate a crime, whether it be against a woman, a child, or an old person, will think, fuck, that motherfucker might have a gun and they're going to shoot my balls off. I probably don't want to do that. Because let's look at what the propensity of violent crime is, right? It's like 90% males. Okay, so this is something right there that it will end everything. And it's a very simple fix. If you're afraid for your own balls to get shot off, most men are going to be like, nah, I like my balls. My balls are fine right here.
I like that. And maybe not even necessarily while we're fixing the world, maybe not necessarily, you wouldn't even have to necessarily give every woman a gun, but just knowing that they have the safety would make them not only more attracted to the idea of owning a gun, it would also make it less of a big, scary monster. A lot of the people, I love videos where a leftist shoots a gun for the first time and they're like, oh, like the kickback on it. And they're just, oh my heavens to Betsy, like when that happens, something you realize like, okay, this is a whole lot of power. Okay. But it also makes me feel not just like this is a whole lot of power in the responsibility angle. Oh my God. But it's also a whole lot of power in that, like, you kind of feel like you stand up a little straighter. And I don't just think that's movies and TV that taught us how to swag that way. I think it's like, oh, I kind of feel a little more responsible in a good way. I feel a little more powerful in a good way. I feel more autonomous. I feel like this is something I can maybe do. It makes it less of a scary monster than it is when it's in the corner or hidden away. You know what I mean? And especially in some weird, I mean, the idea that these women and leftists, all these leftists want to say, oh my God, these women are being attacked. And they are. These women are being attacked, but also at the same time, let's take away their ability to defend themselves, is essentially they want big daddy government, which on the whole, by the way, like George Carlin used to say, what liberals' problem is, what they don't realize is subconsciously, let big white daddy take care of it. Let big white daddy take care of it. You don't need a gun. You don't need freedom of speech. Let big white daddy knows best. That's what George fucking Carlin, a goddamn Democrat most of his life, a big old fucking I hate, Republicans, aren't they all racist guy his whole fucking life. When it started to change, when it started to change and the machine became the leftist, the machine became political correctness, he was like, that's what liberals' problem is they think they're big white fucking daddy, right? The idea that we're going to take these girls' guns away is fucking insane.
Look, all the way back to the foundation of this country, guns have been the great equalizer. If it weren't for people like France giving Americans guns, we wouldn't be Americans. We'd all be sucking at the tit of Grandma England, okay? Like, no bullshit. You have to think about these things. The gun is the equalizer. And let's face it, no offense, most women are weaker than most men. So who are most of the violent body crimes committed against? Women, old people, and kids. Like, I mean, when I was 8 years old, I was out in the fucking forest shooting 22s by myself with my friends. Okay. Nowadays, people wouldn't even dream of something like that. They wouldn't even fucking dream of being able to do some shit like that. They were like, an 8-year-old with a gun? Are you out of your fucking mind? No, go back to the 1800s and let's look at life. Okay. You can look statistically, it was the safest time in this country when everybody had a fucking gun, including the baby in the goddamn carriage was born with a 22. Okay. I'm just saying. Just go back and do some digging and look into history, because the leftist version of this is everybody's going to need a personal bodyguard. And who's supposed to pay for that? The government? I mean, everybody's going to have a bodyguard now? I mean, because there's no situation that you can imagine at all without having an armed bodyguard with you where you are somehow safe because there's, I don't know, 500 cops, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 100 to 1. What's the number that you feel safe at? Because I'm telling you now, it ain't enough. You can't afford it. There's no fucking way. The only possible explanation would be it. And let's go back even to like World War II, right? Let's look at the famous Japanese quote. Why do people never fucking invade America? Because we have 700 million guns in America, okay? There's only 330 million people, but there's 700 million guns. Just think about that. And the famous World War II Japanese quote is, behind every blade of grass lies an American with a gun. Let's just say, I mean, this is the whole point here, is we have to take care of ourselves, personal responsibility for our safety, for our futures. And by the way, most people that own guns, in some ways, I guess the one bad side of that would be that most of them have a hero complex in some way. So to some degree, We're the kind of people that go help other people. We're the kind of people that go save strangers. We're the kind of people that go step in front of bullets for complete strangers who have no fucking idea. I literally am still a guy right now today in today's society. When I see a man being abusive towards his wife, I set that motherfucker straight somehow. Okay. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't give a fuck if they're family. I don't care if it's wrong for me to be involved. I fucking hate when I see some big burly dude being fucking just like, mean. Just, I mean, I'm not even talking about necessarily. I'm not saying I watched him smack her even. I'm saying I watched him grab her fucking arm too hard. I'll give that motherfucker a look and be like, try that with me, motherfucker. Until he fucking calms the fuck down. I will always protect weaker people. It's just me. And it's funny because I'm not very tall. I'm not very big. I'm a little short guy. I'm Asian. Let's just face it. Everything about me small, ladies. Everything. Okay. So what I'm saying is that, I don't care. I've walked up to big burly motherfuckers and got in their face. Literally. I've got witnesses of this and said, why don't you pick on someone your own size, fucker? And they're looking down at me going, what? Wait, what's this? This little dude's got the balls to come and get it? Yep, I do. Pick on someone your own size. Quit picking on that fucking lady. Quit picking on that kid. Quit picking on that old guy. Whatever it is, I'm always going to stand up. So if there's any downside to people like that, it's that there's that little bit of hero complex that kind of creeps into that. Maybe it causes a little bit of extra violence, but hey, at least I'm protecting an innocent person.
There was a fucking video that I saw that, there are a ton of them, especially these days with all the Ring videos and all that stuff. If you want to know the benefits or the risks, the benefits of having a gun in the home or the risks of not having a gun in the home, do a little YouTube fucking research, okay? I saw one in specific where a group of men kicked down a fucking door, okay, and go into this couple's home at night. Okay, do you think you're gonna throw soy at them, bitch? Like, fucking, what are you gonna do, dude? And not only that, so here's the thing. Not only do they want to take the guns away from the women, but they also want to take the men away from the women. They're making men vilified. So not only are they taking guns away, they're saying any type of masculinity, because you can change that definition of what toxic is, just like there's benefits to things and non-benefits to things. There are benefits to masculinity and there are non-benefits to masculinity, but the benefits far fucking outweigh the vagaries. And we can absolutely take a look at the problems and we can adjust our behavior. We already have. Do you know the crime in America since 1991 has literally halved, like it more than, I believe. It's been getting better, everybody. But anyway, they want to take the men away. So they want to take guns away. They want to take men away, and they want to take police away. They have this strange fucking idea that if we can just get everybody to watch the right movie, if we can get everybody to watch Moonlight and Green Book, then somehow everyone's going to go like, wow, Black people are innocent all the time. And we're just going to sit in a field somewhere singing Kumbaya, writing poetry and eating free food. Who paid for the fucking guitar? Who paid to make the fucking guitar? Musicians out there, you want to talk shit about capitalism? Fuck you. Fuck you. You think I would be doing this for free? I've been paying a lot of money to do this every fucking year. Subscribe. But with the goal in mind of making it to the point, yes, it is a vision of love, but I'm sorry, I'm going off on a million different topics, but essentially they want to take away men, they want to take away guns, and they want to take away police. What in the fuck do you think? Do you think you're really gonna root out humanity, the dirty, dark, nasty shit, and the wonderful shit, but the wonderful, disgusting shit that we do in a fucking generation? It hasn't happened in thousands of fucking years. Not to piss off your Christian followers. How dare I?
Well, look, I would say this, to try to follow that thread of logic is impossible because, like you said, 500 million different directions. But I think somewhat of a tie together is let's look at the political processes for every country that's ever existed since the dawn of time back to the fucking cavemen. And you will see that the only time where there's ever been a country that has had freedom and rulership by the people has been America. We're largely losing that. But when every single system, every political system, doesn't matter what it is. You find whatever you want. Every single other political system has always ended in tyranny. We're almost there now. We're almost to the point. Why? Because people are trying to turn this into a true democracy. They're forgetting about the whole republic idea. And that's the thing that separated us from everything else. True democracies end in tyranny because the poor people vote themselves the rich people's money, and it's a fucking zoo from there. Okay, that's literally how it ends, like that. It's mob rule. And when you have mob rule, who suffers? The minority. It doesn't matter what that minority is, but when you have mob rule, democracy, you suffer. The minority is the one that suffers. In a republic, in a representative government, we're supposed to be giving more weight to the minority. By the way, isn't that your argument, leftists, that minorities should be taken care of? Yeah, that's called republicanism. That's called understanding what a true republic is. More weight to the minorities, the minority states, the minority governments, the minority of people. So that is the most protected reason for the First Amendment. Why? Because the First Amendment is completely unnecessary for speech you agree with. The First Amendment is only necessary for speech you loathe, for speech that is abhorrent. That is why it's there, and so that the minority visions, the minority opinions don't get lost in mob fucking rule.
Now, I thought about this going up to the election. I had no idea that it was going to be as bad as it was. And I probably, knowing you probably saw some tea leaf shit that fucking, not just because you're Asian, you probably saw some tea leaves that this was going to happen. But in my book, I thought, you know what? As much as I fucking do not want Joe Biden and the leftists to have rule here, if we all make the decision to pitch in our fucking best and pitch in our voice, fuck it. If dummies want to choose this dummy, great. You know what? Fine, I'll go with it. But let's talk a little bit about what actually happened on the election.
Well, fuck. To me, it's a complete sham and a complete fraud, and it's proof that the establishment and the swamp are uniparty. It's not, and I've been calling it out right from day one. Leftists always forget this part when they hear me speak, and is that I call out the fucking fuckstick rhinos like Mitch goddamn McConnell more than I call out anybody on the left. I call out our own side way more because they're the ones that rolled the fuck over, because they're part of that uniparty that wants to stick the shaft to us. And again, the evidence is fucking clear. 60 days, the country's fucking destroyed. 70 people, which means 20 Republican senators, voted for Merrick fucking Garland, who doesn't even know if crossing the border illegally is a crime. I mean, this is the kind of whacked out crazy shit that these people do. They tell you to your face, we're going to fuck you in the ass, and you just bend the fuck over. You're just like, oh, okay, it's your turn. Okay, let me take it. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, right? So we see what happens. And again, I'll challenge any leftist to provide me with any evidence that Joe Biden won this election. Anything. Just provide any shred of even anecdotal. I'll even give you circumstantial evidence. You can't find any. YouTube likes. What? There's more dislikes than likes, and the likes aren't even at 100 fucking thousand on any video he's done. Yes. Nobody shows up at rallies. Nobody shows up in Washington, D.C. Nobody does anything. You cannot find me. I have searched the world over for a single piece of evidence. There is none other than the mainstream media saying Joe Biden is the most popular president ever to exist on this planet. And people are just buying it. It's like, you have to be completely blind, ignorant, stupid, living in a fucking cave to believe that this motherfucker got more votes than Obama. By the way, Obama filled Chicago's parks with people when he won the election. Biden over there couldn't even fill a fucking park in fucking Delaware. I mean, give me one piece of evidence, even today, that shows you people give a fuck about this motherfucker. You can't give me one.
Here's the other thing. not only should we all be on the same side when it comes to free speech, we should all be on the side to make sure that our elections are fair. And if there's, I know that there has been a few times where it's gone to courts, but at the same time, there has been times where it's been kicked out of courts, right? Where the judge has said they're not even going to hear the case, right? Now, is that really, what were the exact points? And maybe this is too long of a subject, but where were the exact points where they said there isn't substantial evidence to even hear the case about fraud?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of cases are actually coming back now. People aren't paying attention because the media doesn't even know that. We just had a judge in Michigan reinstate a case that was priorly dismissed because the other case found the evidence that there was voter fraud in Michigan. Another judge just censored the Secretary of State and said she broke the law. You got down in Texas, a judge and 15 other people are charged with 150 counts of voter fraud. You've got in Georgia, the entire fucking bullshit fraud case came out. And by the way, that's all a smokescreen over the fact that a judge in Georgia is going to order the complete auditing of the votes there. You've got another judge in Wisconsin that's saying, wait, this was fraudulent over here. So there are cases still, and there's still, I believe, a case pending in Nevada. But the point in all of this is that, the Supreme Court ducked and ran for cover, but they're still going to end up with cases in front of them because these cases are not going to end here. But the main gist that I want to get across is that, yes, there are court cases all over the place still pending, still other jurisdictions, still being filed, as a matter of fact. But that doesn't matter. All that does is bolster what we need to actually focus on. And I've been saying this since, late January, I think, is that we have to get focused on our states. We have to really go local. And one of the biggest things that we can do, for one, we have to keep the pressure on our state legislatures to fix the election laws. And by the way, 20 state legislatures are completely reverting all of their election laws to 2016 standards. They're basically removing every change that they made and going all the way back to 2016, a complete rollback. That's 20 states that are already doing that because they already see that. Go ahead.
Can you expound on that? What were the changes that were made?
Well, like mail-in, one of the big ones is what's called no-fault mail-in voting. In other words, they didn't have to give a reason like I'll be out of the country because I'm in the military, or I have to be in the doctor's or a hospital because I have a surgery that I have to be into, and those kinds of things. So, or my summer home is in Florida or whatever, my winter home, whatever. So they're repealing all of that. They're repealing being able to signature verification levels back to where they should be. Like one of the biggest issues that a lot of people aren't paying attention to is signature verifications, where the standards, and by the way, the law in a lot of these states like Georgia was that they can only have something like a 0.06 variance. And these guys were pushing through, 84%. So that, it's just so widely outside the law, the actual law as written, that that's why people are so pissed off. And Trump has been constantly pointing this out to people. So has a lot of other people. But my point is that the affidavits of the things that we all watched happen in Pennsylvania and in Michigan and in Arizona are now being acted upon by about 20 states. So, suddenly the law matters to them, right? But this is my point again, is we have to stay local. We, the people, can prevent all of this. And I've even argued that, look, right now, what we need is a coalition of Republican governors. By the way, we control 26 state legislatures, 25 governorships in this country. So just with them alone, we can basically all get together and just tell the federal government, go fuck yourself. So that's my point, is put together a coalition of Republican governors to just stand up against the tyranny of the federal government. States have rights. It's in the Constitution. It's in their state constitutions. And the federal government does not control many of these aspects. Most importantly, elections. That's called for directly in Article 2 of the Constitution right here, that the states run the elections, not the federal government. So this HR 1 bill, it's completely unconstitutional. But if governors don't have the balls to stand up, and if the people don't give them the balls by screaming and yelling at them, nothing's going to happen. That's why we have to all focus local.
I am interested in your thoughts on why certain Republican or non-liberal governors, representatives, wherever, why they have pulled back. Now, I know rhino essentially means people, Republicans who have been in there for a long fucking time, who have essentially been a part of the swamp, right? It's
Yeah, we
similar.
call them rhinos as Republican in name only.
I like that. Okay. Now I know. I see. I learn something new every day. You would think I'm so smart. But there's an idea back in the election of 2012. In fact, they've been doing this every year for a long time. I remember McCain was 2012, wasn't it? Or was that 2008?
2008, I believe.
Okay. So in 2008, I was listening to this radio show where they were talking about how Obama and McCain, they're just, calling each other all kinds of fucking names and racist and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Not as bad as 2016 or 2020, but already they were like, that's when Joe Biden was like, they're going to put you all back in chains, was 2012 for Mitt Romney. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
It's vitriolic and shitty as they are to each other. Suddenly they go to this event. I can't remember the name of it, but they go to this event where it's not really televised. I think they took video in 2008 and maybe 2012 where the candidates essentially roast each other. And it's very convivial. It's very like, hey, we're on the same side. I'm making jokes. I'm not taking it as personal. I'm out on stage saying they're gonna put you back in chains. But then when I go into this event, after the same thing happens in Congress and wherever, where it's just hate. I'm going to stand up on filibuster. I'm going to do all this shit. And then behind closed doors, when the cameras turn off, suddenly, wasn't that a great case yesterday, Republican? Yeah, Democrat, it was crazy. They're fucking friends. God damn it. They're fucking friends. They're using this. They're using us. They're using the vitriol that we have that they've fucking given us to not listen to each other. Right. And so what do you think, besides just wanting to keep their job? Because I think some of it really is not just the rhino-ness. Some of it is not just the I'm a part of the swamp. Some of it is the genuine fear that they have, I think, the genuine fear that they have of not being perceived on the right side of history. Not being on the right side, but genuinely being perceived on the right side of history, right? If they think the Twitter mob really wants them to say that the sky is orange, they're going to say that the sky is orange. Do you think that there's a scintilla of that as well?
Oh, 100%. These guys are all cocksuckers. I mean, let's look at Lindsey Graham. I mean, he'll suck anybody's dick if it's the right size. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Is that they all engage in that. And that's why I think the country voted for Trump. And I think largely, I think the evidence is clear that the country is largely still Trumpers, is because we know all of these fucking insiders. That's what they all do. Let's just look at Camel Toe Harris. Camel Toe Harris was asked multiple times, didn't you just call Biden a cocksucking, sexual harassing, ignorant, racist, murdering piece of shit? And then her only answer was, that's politics, baby. It's just politics. I mean, you literally will suck anyone's dick if you can say that. Anyone's. I don't care if it's a midget from Sumatra. You will suck that dick just because that's the kind of person you are. And that's what a lot of these politicians do all the time. We talk about it out here in the real world all the time. But the media doesn't give a shit, because guess what? The media is getting their dick sucked too. Let's look at all those fucking incestuous fucking relationships. It's the wife on the fucking media desk running the fucking show from fucking 7 to 9 of the congressman or the senator or the owner of the station or the station manager. I mean, it's all incestuous bullshit. And in fact, I think largely the people that go into media are looking to get their dick sucked. And they're like, man, I hope somebody fucking famous sucks my dick someday. Right? Let's look at the chick from the fucking New York Times, right? She literally was sucking the dick of like a 50 years older man just to get fucking news stories published. What, she was like 22, and the guy in the fucking the what was his name, Wolf, what was he, like 60? I mean, give me a fucking break. They put it on display and people don't understand. I mean, how can you not understand?
Now, that's not to say, by the way, that because I am going to be 60 one day and I might want to get my dick sucked by a 22-year-old. So morally, Morally, we're not.
It's not a moral judgment. No.
All right. So this shit's happening now. At the same time, how much? Let's quantify it if we can. What is going to change besides us just making a stink? How much money? Because really, the squeeze that makes the change is the wallet. The reason why these cocksuckers have gotten so intertwined with the media, these cocksuckers have gotten so intertwined with themselves, is because we fashioned them to have the power to do that. We gave them the power. The way that we're changing it, I think slowly, unfortunately, is like Grammys, as an example, a few days ago, had literally half. Already their ratings have been going down, just like everybody's who's going woke. But now Grammys are literally 50%. More people are in their fucking homes now than ever. And yet they had 50% of their ratings from last year because everyone needs to get on a soapbox and, did you guys know black people are having a hard time? Bitch, I just wanted to like your song. I don't want you to, get on my fucking mind about this didactic bullshit about listen to what I have to say about this political. I just wanted to listen to your fucking song. How much wallet do we need to squeeze before we can change this? Because they're still not listening, even with their ratings going down. They're still not listening with us buying Goya in abundance after they tried to cancel it. What can we quantify this change?
I think we already have. I think we've already digested the fact that everybody needs to vote with their wallet every single day. We have moved markets, including all the way up to the stock market, by investing with our dollars into specific companies against these idiots. So we've seen that we can impact every business from Macy's to Starbucks to big boys. I mean, literally, we're watching it, and I think that in large, what you just pointed to is a big thing. Because let's look at the most predominant sport in the entire world, the NFL. Even the NFL's ratings are still down. There's no bounce back. People were trapped throughout the entire football season in their homes, and even their ratings and Super Bowl ratings were down. So if they're down from the year prior and the year prior and the year prior, like you said, it's a cascade. I think we've already reached the good wokeness, right? That level of saying, we're just voting with our wallets every single day. All of you idiots that are out there trying to virtue signal and tell me this and tell me that, go fuck yourselves, because we're sick of it. And what I do on my show is I've boiled all of this down into something, a very small nugget. And that is that PC culture must die, period. The PC culture must die. No political correctness of any kind. Fuck you, fuck him, fuck black, fuck white, fuck Asian. I don't give a fuck, fuck everybody. Okay? Like, PC culture must fucking die. What's the base root of PC culture? It's the PR firms and the fucking risk managers who decide what to fucking do for the companies. Well, it would be better if we went out there and virtue signaled that our company loves black people. And when they do that, you make them pay in the wallet. That motherfucker loses influence. And when that motherfucker loses influence, that gives people the power to say, fuck all this PC shit. Let's just sell some fucking widgets, okay? Look, I don't give a fuck who's sucking whose dick. I need to sell widgets, not dicks, not rubbers. I sell widgets. Get the fuck out of here with your political correct bullshit. That's the right answer.
I agree with you, but here's why I think it's too late at that point. Because Facebook and all these companies have already hired a blackity black person with a blackity black degree to now be the judge of what passes and what doesn't. They were so desiring to be on the fucking woke dick that they hired some dummy with a fucking liberal arts degree to tell us how bad we are so we can show the Starbucks people, the customers, how good we are because we see how bad we are. I think it's too late because they've already hired some black fucking, blackity black degree.
I understand your point, but what they think right now is they can outlast us. But let's not forget that what you just said is a great exemplar of this. By the way, anybody know that Facebook lost $4 billion in values because of that? Yeah, by the way, just to be clear, these people lost $4 billion with a B dollars in value because of their woke policies, and they're going down, all of them. You know that Twitter still hasn't turned a profit since it started. It had one quarter where it turned a profit. One. You know what that quarter was? Yeah, right before Donald Trump won the election. You know what happened right after Donald Trump won the election? Oh, yeah, They fucking destroyed Twitter, and Twitter dropped off the fucking map again. Still hasn't turned a profit since. So when you understand what they're doing, you understand that we are going to win because we have the lasting power over this. We're moving, we're building. They're allowing time for competition. By the way, in case you can't tell, my background here is all about Creato.media. Well, that's the platform. It's a holistic technology that we're building to free society from exactly the behavior you're talking about. I can't go into large detail, and I don't intend to on your show, but the bottom line is that this is a fix program to fix what's going on with places like Facebook, Twitter, all of social media. So the point I'm trying to make is that all we have to do is not give up and not give in. That's all we have to do. Just stay the course, stay the path. When they go woke, they go broke. That's it. That's all you need to know. If they go woke, you make them go broke. And how do you do that? By not spending your $5. Yes, your $5 matters. Let me show you. 5 times 100 equals 500. Okay, like I mean, it's pretty fucking simple. It's all math.
Of course, I let an Asian show on my show, and he starts talking math.
I knew you'd get it. I knew you'd get it.
But I also will add, not only because ultimately you cannot break the fucking spirit of America. The reason why China has been fucking building is because of the spirit of China. They have conditioned their people to not really fight against the dictator. And even when they fucking tried Hong Kong, white people sat silently who want to now all of a sudden say, oh, stand with Asian. Bullshit. You didn't give a fuck about Hong Kong. Okay, they literally now, a few months ago, not only have they taken back the power from Hong Kong, but now they've decided that they can now get protesters in trouble. So protesters have sat and sunk quietly into the background. I'm not a protester, and you don't give a sweet, hot fuck. You don't care that China has been I think it's 1 to 2 million Muslims, Uyghur, I think is the name of it, whatever, Muslims in fucking camps to retrain them to give up their God. Okay, you don't give a fuck. So don't all of a sudden go, I stand with Asians, you dumb bitch. But the reason why is because of the spirit. The spirit that China has had for a long time is, okay, we've now, and it's a cultural thing, it's okay to be just another cog in the clock. It's okay. I'm so proud of my job to be just another guy in washing dishes or wherever, driving cabs in Shenyang or wherever. In America, the America spirit, you can't breed it out of us this quickly, kids. It's not gonna fucking go away. Our spirit is, I could be famous tomorrow. Our spirit is, I'm the shit, fuck you. Watch me dunk a basketball, watch me throw a football, watch me sing on a show, watch me this, watch me that. That's why you can't really break us, because our spirit is individualistic. Our spirit is freedom. Our spirit is free speech. You can't really fuck with us, you know?
You've hit the nail on the head, in my opinion, and that is spirit. Okay, what do I mean by that? Is that let's look at, if they're literally, Americanism at its root breeds exceptionalism, because everybody, and this is part of woke culture as well, the leftists, what they're trying to do is all of these other countries, like you just mentioned, Asia, they create conformity. When you create conformity and everybody tries to be the same, and you always try to nail down the peg that sticks out into the group, what you do is you start limiting genius. You limit the ability for someone to come up with the idea to create the internet, to create the iPod, to create the automobile. You literally dumb down society by making it conform, because you ostracize exceptionalism. You put that outside of what the society thinks is good. So someone like Albert Einstein in China would have been ostracized and never would have been able to reach his potential of genius, because nobody would even see its value, because it didn't conform to the society. This is why, as a rule, it's not 100%, I know, before you get all pissed off in your little country of France or something, is that basically America creates almost everything, right? Everything comes from America. and then we export those ideas largely for free to the world. It's only the products will export as well, but the idea itself generally is exported for free for just about anything. Here, look, here's the idea. You're in another country. Here you go. You start thinking along these lines. Why don't they? They don't, because their countries, their cultures, their spirit is one of conformity, not one of exceptional individualism.
Agreed. And what's so strange, when I went over to, you're good to go a few more minutes?
I'm good to go at least another hour before my wife starts stabbing me. So if you start seeing knives come flying in, that's my wife saying it's time to get off the fucking air, idiot.
But James, women can't do anything wrong. What do you say? I thought you as of a, anyway. Not only is it a problem, spirit. When I went to Shenyang, I went to China a couple years ago, and I spent a week there, and it was fucking great. Individually, fucking amazing people, really nice. They do drive horrible. It's absolutely fucking true. Not just in California, but in China too. But the thing is that I noticed is that there is that idea of not only conforming, not only I'm proud to be just a dishwasher, but also they suck our dick culturally. They love American music, American spirit, American movies, American, as long as it, and that's why China's been so fucking, do you know that you cannot be on Facebook in China? China, just a little something for all the people who are like, I stand in solidarity with the Asians. Bullshit. China has a specific social media called WeChat, and it's governed, it's literally monitored by the government. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can talk all the freedom you fucking want. They literally have to get different ISPs. They have to get France ISPs, American ISPs. They have to grab, or VPNs. They have to grab VPNs from elsewhere in the world just so they can have fucking freedom. So why in the fuck? How do they think they're I mean, that's why China has gotten in so much trouble for stealing our technology, for stealing our intellectual property. How do they think that they can, what do you think it is what do you think the government, the Chinese government, why do they not see that this idea of letting the freedom leak in small ways is eventually going to take them down?
Well, because they've largely been successful at their version of communist freedom. What do I mean by that? That's a misnomer. Well, let's look at the history of what they did and how they've taken power. They've largely done set up America in China, but they have dominated just the political process into a single political structure. So there's no danger to them. Their people largely are free to live within their parameters. They're, again, like you said, conformity is the devil here. They're happy to conform to their station in life. It's largely like the old Indian caste system or caste system, however you want to say that word. And that they know that, look, dad's a fucking taxi driver. Grandpa was a taxi driver. I'm going to fucking be a taxi driver. Okay. I mean, maybe there's this, I might be able to work in the manufacturing this time because I'm third generation. I mean, they play into that socially, but largely their people are relatively free when you compare it to other systems of dictatorship or communism around the planet. So the Chinese have created a unique version of China by allowing their people to do things. The only way, basically the government owns every single business in China. Any Chinese business, especially the ones that go international, those ones for 100%, those are all given to specific party members. Now, what is China's overall psychological outlook on being able to keep pace or even exceed the pace of the world is that they know that they can just steal whatever they need from the other countries. They don't need to create anything because they know, well, we'll just steal it from over here and then we'll make it. And because of our better distribution, we'll just out distribute everybody. So they've created this relatively successful model for their people. Their people didn't revolt from the emperor system, essentially, ever, for thousands of years until they got to the communist revolt. Okay, until Mao Zedong, these people just basically they're not built psychologically, culturally, historically as a revolt type of people. They've always largely just been like, look, I don't give a fuck what they do over there in Shenzhen. This is what I'm doing over here on my farm. I got to feed my family, feed my daughters. I'm going to have some fun on the weekend, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's only people like us that have freedom, that can think outside the box, that can see something grander because we live in a country like America, that think, oh my God, how can those people do that? Oh my God, why aren't they just rising up? Well, it's because they didn't grow up like you. They don't have those same visions. Their family didn't teach them. No one in their generational household ever knew freedom. No one. There's nothing there to ever show them what freedom is. We're talking about a society as a whole, culturally, that's been dominated by warlords and emperors since the dawn of time. The oldest written civilization on the planet, never been free ever. So they don't even understand it. They couldn't possibly even conceptualize what it meant to be free. In fact, largely people like that, especially ones that have been culturally downtrodden for so long, they see freedom as something to fear because they're like, what do I do now? Oh my God, I'm free. What do I do with this freedom? It's a large, you can take a lesson from people that get out of prison. We call them institutionalized, right? They've been in prison 20 fucking years. They get outside and they're like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to eat. Who's going to bring me my meal? What time is bedtime? How the fuck do I pay my rent? They don't know anything because they haven't been in that experience, but at least they have friends, family to try to, help them. But people in China, they got nothing. So you could take the entire country and just think of them as just released prisoners. You need to have a better understanding of the mindset that's there culturally.
I also will throw in a quick plug for those who have friends getting out of prison. Make sure to help them with porn. Okay, make sure to help them with porn, because I had a friend get out and we had a conversation. He's like, I'm grateful that I can be that guy for him. People know if you have a porn question, talk to people. But like, he was like, I kept getting this notification that there's a virus on my phone. I'm like, no, it's not really a virus. It's just it's just a fucked up company wanting you to get your information. Just close the window. He's like, really? Yeah, just close the window, open a new window. Oh, okay. So make sure to be there for your friends. Okay, be there for your porn friends. Now, why isn't there a moral switch? I guess maybe it's been, no, that's not what I was going to say. I also just wanted to throw in, Mao had good intentions, okay? Mao had good intentions. Mao read Marx. Mao thought, I'm going to take over this and we're going to make communism really happen here. We're going to make it real. We're going to make it happen. And then a couple thousand people died. And he was like, okay, I'm going to really chunk down and maybe we'll change it. And then a bunch of other motherfucking people died. But the idea that these dumb fucking white cunts in Berkeley, because I have good intentions, because subconsciously I'm white, I'm going to be able to do it better than Mao did. I'm going to be able to do it better than Pol Pot. I'm going to be able to do it better than those silly. So it's the weirdest mix of American exceptionalism with communism at the same time. And that's why we're having the problem. And it gives all the people at the top, all the rhinos, all the Democrats, all the leftists, whatever. Oh, good. Yeah, no, we'll do what? Yeah, no, we'll do it the right way. Just give us power and money. Thanks a lot. No, yeah, we'll do it the right way. Bullshit.
Did you ever notice that the failure of communism that you can point out historically, as well as the death count, that they've killed more motherfuckers on the planet than anything else? The answer from the left is always, well, they just didn't do it right. So we just need more socialism. I mean, this is the insanity of these people. Wait. More people died under communist regimes than any other political regime in the history of the planet. And you think the answer is, let's try it again? I'm not sure, but that sounds pretty fucking dumb to me.
Right. Do you ever listen to Yarn Brooks?
I'm not familiar, no.
Yaron. He's a big old fucking capitalist, and he's a really smart guy. And he thinks I haven't really read goddamn Fountainhead. Okay, I haven't really gotten into what's her face, but like individualistic capitalism on an internal level really does work on a good myopic, but like on a minute by minute basis, on an individual level, being responsible for yourself really does work. And when you blame it on other people, or other people are keeping me from this, or and Lord knows I'm guilty of it, but like When I'm pointing the finger everywhere else, it really doesn't work. So why wouldn't we think that works on a grand scale? Why wouldn't we think that personal responsibility doesn't work on a grand scale?
Here's what's even stupider. I mean, let's really baseline this out. Every single political system on the planet that's ever existed, every one of them, you can throw in fucking even religious systems and say, well, what about Buddhism? I don't give a shit. Every one of them at the top is capitalist. Every single system on the planet that's ever existed at the top level is capitalist. It's about feeding the people in some form or other and transferring the wealth of other people into their people. It doesn't matter what that top level is. Let's look at right now on the planet, right? Why do we always talk trade deals?
You mean
what's that?
It's not capitalist.
No, it's capitalist because let's look at what's going on with the trade deals, right? Why does China have a trade deal with Germany? Let's say we're not even going to put USA in it. Let's just look at other countries. What are those trade deals designed to do? They're designed to get money in one side and come out the other. That's capitalism right there. These people are all been involved in that, even down to if you look at like the dark side of capitalism, right? What did one country go invade another country for? Their resources. It's capitalism. Why did they even go there? Because they wanted the shit the other guy had. I mean, all of that at the top level is capitalism. There's only one exception to that, is that in a free society, that what you just talked about, that capitalism gets to trickle down to you and me. In communist countries, what we call the apparatchiks, or the top level, those guys are all engaged in capitalism. They're buying and selling shit with other countries. They're stealing shit from their people and selling it to someone else. The same is true in communist China. The same is true everywhere. The apparatchiks, the party leaders, they're engaged in. Why do you think that China has a bunch of those $100 billion billionaires? How are they billionaires? Because the government allowed them to do it. It's all the same.
Right. Let's wrap this up. I want to posit this idea, and I think I talked about it on your show. Everyone go check out Pirate Radio and Ladies of Liberty if you want a more female perspective on things. But my thing is not just the way to get this change happening is not only squeeze them in their wallets, not just make a stink on and call your Congress people and all that stuff. I also think it's let's call these people what they are. What really works, I think, when anytime someone's, the cancel beam is now focusing on them, as soon as they go, I'm sorry, I'll change. You're a dead bitch. You're a dead motherfucker. And anybody who's bullied people knows what I'm talking about. I've bullied people, I've been the bullied. Everybody has. Everybody has a victim as well as a fucking perpetrator in them. And when a bully smells blood and they know that they can fuck you, they're going to fuck you. As soon as you go all the way out, like, no, I'm not gonna apologize. And if they can't squeeze you in your money or take your job away, they move on. The beam moves, right? So I think to be bold as fuck about this is the way to do it, is part of the way to do it. Not just to go and try to change their mind or have a conversation. If someone comes in on my social media swinging, I have no problem throwing it right back in their face, because this is the reality. These leftists are boring. They are boring. They are unfun. They're not funny. They're boring. Nobody wants to fuck a leftist. Nobody, no woman in her bones. When you can talk all the mad shit about, toxic masculinity. Who's the hottest motherfucking man in the world? Who was it a few years ago? The big, muscly motherfucker with hair. Who was it else? The year before, it was a big, muscly motherfucker. It was the Brad Pitts before he turned into a bitch. It was it was the fucking man-ass shit. Nature don't fucking lie. And these cocksuckers are boring, unfuckable douchebags. They're not good people. I'm sick of trying to reason with them. I'm sick of trying to get through it. If you come in swinging, if you come in nice, I'll reason with you. If you want to come in and just ask me a question and say, I disagree with this, great. Let's have a conversation, dum-dum. Even though none of them ever come on my show, even though I fucking invite them, stupid. But if you come in swinging, you're the bad person. I am not going to try to justify why I'm not, because I know who the fuck I am. I'm going to push it right back on you. Not only are these people boring, they're not good people. We need to fucking talk. We need to change the way we talk and think about this. Stop trying to defend ourselves and say, but I'm not racist. I'm half Puerto Rican. No, you're the fucking racist. Push it right back in their fucking face.
I agree. PC culture must die. I don't say it gently. I'm saying it. It must die. An ignoble, horrible fucking death. It must fucking die. So I agree. I in some cases, I largely look for how can I be un-PC to the extreme when I'm responding to you, because you've decided to be a complete douche canoe and tell me about your feels. I don't give a fuck about your feels. It's not my job to care about your feels. It's not even your fucking friend's job to care about your feels. It's your friend's job to give you the dose of reality that you fucking need is wake the fuck up. The real world sucks and we all got to go through it together. So if you'll quit fucking crying with your fucking wet ass pussy and start realizing that motherfuckers got to work for a living, you'll fucking be feeling a whole lot better about yourself when you have pride in what you do and you work hard for it. There is such a positive feeling. Like, this is why I love these shows that I do. It's like, look, this is literally my second job after my day job that I come out and I do for the people all the time. It's hard fucking work. It's expensive fucking work to get done. By the way, shout out to all my supporters. Without you, I couldn't do this. That's the point. I feel pride in what I do because you come back and watch it. I feel pride in what I do. I try to make my shows look better, feel better, sound better. I do everything I can constantly to upgrade because of the pride that I have in what I accomplished. Now, don't let your pride turn into fucking ego like the left does and think that somehow that makes you better than the next person. I'm no better than any fucking buddy else. That's why I love this guy right here, Peter Feliciano. He's no better than everybody else. He doesn't fucking act like it. He just thinks you fucking retards need to wake the fuck up so that everybody can feel like that. And your feels will be a whole lot better when you don't give a fuck what anybody else says. That's the real problem here, is that you care too much about, oh, I hope my friend likes me. I hope my mom kisses my ass today. Fuck you. Learn to fucking tell everybody else. Fuck you. Don't care. And really don't care. I could give a fuck less about you trolls, you pieces of shit. And that's for real. That's just me in a nutshell.
Amazing. Yeah. What a great fucking episode. This has been a wonderful conversation, James. Now, firstly, before you get into your other plugs, plug Criado.
Criado.media is a holistic, I call it, because I want people to understand that we're talking about everything in the technology changing to free society. What we're talking about is a social media aspect, movies, music, everything. I can't give you the secret sauce, so it sounds like I'm just another shine boy just saying some shit just to get you to invest, but I'm not. We have to build our own technology. I've talked about this on many, many episodes. Everybody needs to know that right here in your cell phones that you all have, there is a hardware backdoor deliberately put in there, and you can thank the American government for it. It's in every single electronic device that you have. The government can get in, but that also means that the bad guys can get in whenever they want, because there's literally a hardware backdoor on every device, the servers. So even if you're safe on your phone, you're going through a VPN, the server is where they're going to get in, because they can get in through the servers. This is why we don't trust anything on Amazon, AWS platforms, and it's why you give all the power to something like Google. People don't understand. 90%, literally listen to this statistic, 90% of all communications run through Google. That's all communications, phone calls, emails. I mean, literally everything that's happening communication-wise. I mean, that's literally leaving like 10% for the mail system. Just think about that. I mean, like, Google servers control the fucking world. So when you understand that, and you understand that those things have back doors deliberately designed into them, you understand why we have to do what we have to do. And that's basically create a whole new American system that is safe, secure, and that will help free society by taking the power away from the gatekeepers. And that's the real key here. I mean, literally, I know it's so hard to flesh this out without giving away secret sauce, but it's that, you know, how do you get movies nowadays, right? And who decides what movie gets made? It's somebody at the gatekeeper. There's somebody there deciding it. Well, what if I removed all of that so that you could put your movie directly into the people's hands? That's what we're creating. We're creating a system exactly like that so that we, the people, will decide who the winners and losers are, not the gatekeepers anymore.
Awesome. Very cool. Now, people can also find you on Twitter. Twitter's your main thing. I don't think you're on Instagram, are you?
No, I'm not on Instagram. And it's thanks to people like you that even people on Instagram ever get to see me. But I need to get an Instagram account. But again, I'm so freaking busy and I got 65 fucking channels going that it's like one of those things that just slips my mind to ever, when I get that 5 minutes, I just want to go sit down in my fucking easy chair and chill for a minute. So I really need to get on Instagram.
Plus, you are 97 years old, so that also
exactly. I mean, I need my fucking walker and my fucking Geritol. I mean, come on.
I've fallen and I can't get up. All right, so people can find you, James R. or Real Person Politics, Pirate Radio, anywhere else?
TAVshow.com. You can find all the links to just about everything on that one website. It's my website. Until Google decides to shut that one down, but it's just a link page essentially that you can go there, find my stuff, figure out how to follow me, figure out how to connect with me. This is the one good thing about social media. If there's any one good thing, is that the way that I look at it is it's a way to text message complete strangers. You know, that's what I love about it, is that's how people like myself and Peter get to meet. I mean, we would have never met each other. We live on the wrong sides of the planet in the wrong age demographics with no fucking common interest just about. But because of social media, we're able to connect, meet, and realize that there's no disparity in our thought processes, really. There's other people. Oh, my God, he's just like me. You know, so, I mean, you know, when you think about it like that, you understand why it's so valuable of a tool.
Right. I mean, I do like chicken katsu. I do like Hawaiian barbecue. I don't know. Oh, man. Thank you so much, James. Everybody, wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to say it the fuck again. Make sure you subscribe right goddamn now. Help me out by leaving a review, rating it, starring it, liking it, whatever the hell. And share this with your less offendable friends. In fact, by the way, just as a side note, if you're a whiny little, you know, Pamby, Mamby, whatever, and you're like, I have a job that I don't want to lose, then fine. Text it. Get the link. And just text it to your friends. I don't care. Share it around. I need more goddamn money. And find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Oh, I almost forgot. I am putting a merch out. Merch is coming. Peter Feliciano officially Monday. This upcoming Monday, merch will be live. And so you'll be able to buy my album shirt. You'll be able to buy a shirt with multiple shirts with this wonderful face on it. You really got to support. And also really like high quality shit. So anyway, make sure you find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano and on Twitter at Rule62Peter. I love you all very much. Thank you so much, James. This has been a fucking blast. I love this. Really serious.
Thanks for having me, brother. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.